Welcome to That LI Garage. Today we're going to be working on my 911 turbo heads, 997.2. Let me show you what I have here. First off, let me show you one of the ports of a regular cylinder. This car has 100,000 miles on it. If I could show you, there is carbon buildup on the valves, but I'll show you more in depth. Let me show you a clean valve, and I left one valve dirty so we could take a look at the differences. This valve they're both identical. I cleaned this one, and this one I haven't. That's all the deposits. It's kind of hard to get it off, so it's really in there. This is, let's just say this one is a good port, filled with gunk and everything on the inside. This is the one that I started cleaning, and you can start seeing the aluminum through it. That's actually a better view. Alright, so one other thing that I'm going to be doing at some point, you see these casting marks over here on the corners. I'm just gonna Dremel them down a little bit. That's it. Have better flow into the head. I ended up buying Carrillo rods to upgrade the bent rods that I had. This is one of the straighter ones that I had. This is the factory one. This is the Carrillo H-beam rod. If you were to cut this in here, cut the rod over here, you would see a H pattern inside here. That's why they call these H pattern. Later on, I'm gonna take all the rods and I'm gonna weigh them, and I'm gonna grind them down, make sure they're all perfect. That's just an extra precaution that I do take to help balance the engine while I'm in this situation, while I'm here. I want to show you also the valve springs. This is for the exhaust side. This is for the intake side, which is really cool. This is called a beehive, and they're both dual. See, this one's straight, and this one has a cone shape to it. It's really cool that a factory car has dual springs for the valve springs. That's really good. Those are the cams. We don't need to worry about those yet. Another thing is, when I did take apart the head, it has the buckets over here, these guys, and I do mark exactly where they came from. If you can see over here, this is driver's side 3, and I already know that this is for the intake because it's a lot bigger than the exhaust. Oh. This one is driver's side number 2. So and I mark them 1 to 6 because we have 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all along. Actually, I would start it from here because wherever the timing is, that's where number 1 is. I start number 1 to number 6. And this is pistons number 1 till 3. Another thing that I'm gonna have to do soon, this is the exhaust side of this block. One of the bolts that hold the exhaust manifold snapped. As you can see it right here. I'm gonna weld a little head to it, and then also while I weld it, it'll give it some heat, and I'll be able to turn it out and hopefully not damage the threading that's inside there. I swing it back and forth just so I can start, kind of rethreading it, or I don't want to force it and keep breaking the nut. what I'm trying to do is ease the nut back out. Not the nut, but the bolt. But also I kind of have to do it kind of quickly while we still have heat in it. It's already starting to get it's loosening up. Oh dang. Now that I don't need that clamping string, I can go to one of these small channel locks. It's getting a little tight. And the threads are still good in there. As you can see, just smoothened out the casting marks, and that's it. So this head is ready. I just need the valve seals, and then I can start reassembling it. Now I gotta start cleaning that one. Another thing that I did is I took out all the injectors, the fuel injectors out, the high pressure fuel injectors. I didn't clean them, I just marked them, and I'm sending them to a place where they're going to test out. I want to see, when I marked them, I marked which cylinder they belong to. I want to see if cylinder 5 is spraying significantly less than any other ones, to know if that was a contributing factor in the destruction of this engine. Alright, so I got these rods, the Carrillo rods. These are the factory rods. When I got them, I did a quick little test to see if they line up. You know, right here we're perfectly lined up, and if we're lined up over here, I do feel a step. There is a difference in here. So that did get me worried, and that's a problem that I have to figure out. So Carrillo makes two sizes, one for this generation, the 997.2. It's supposed to be overall length from center to center. It's 5 inches, 5 inches, 0.511. And then the 991 is 5 inches, .433. All right. The reason why I'm telling you this is because when I measure, let's see, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to measure the factory one. We're going to measure it from here to here, right? I'm going to zero in the caliper. And now, that's a 99.85. 99.85. And when I measure the Carrillo rod from the same 2 points, I'm already in the 100s. 100.9 5.64. 64, 63. So for some reason the Carrillo rods are longer than my stock rods. So I've been going crazy trying to figure out why. I've been on the phone with Carrillo and all that. So another thing that we're going to be doing is I'm going to send him 2 of my best rods so he can see and decide if it's something. I mean they are bent. They're definitely bent, but I don't know if it could make up for that much of the difference. When I measure them with all, okay, so let me show you what I was doing. So over here we have the Carrillo. When you measure the whole, this whole bore and this bore, you cut them both in half. Where was the measurement I did over here? Either way, whatever measurement you have here, you cut it in half, you get the center. Whatever measurement you get here, you cut it in half, you split it in half, divide it by 2, you get this size, and then you add this. So there's 3 measurements that you need to add. Now when you add all those 3, you get 5.511 on this one. They make a different rod that's 5.433, and that's for a different generation, the 991 motors, but that's shorter. So now this one is the one that I have right now. It's bigger than this one, but when I do my calculations, I measure the same way. Measure the big hole, divided by half, small hole divided by half, and add this. So I get this is what I end up getting. This is the long, this is the small hole, and that's the big hole. When you add them all together, I get 5.496. So this ends up being bigger than the 991s, but still yet smaller than the 997.2. So there's something that I just want to make sure, because if I put in a rod that's a little bit bigger, it's going to change the dynamic of the car, and also the dynamic of the engine, the way that it works, and also there's a possibility it's going to interfere with the valves. So just as a safety precaution, I'm sending them to Carrillo. They're going to measure them out and take a look at it, see if they come up with some conclusion. Maybe for some reason my car has different size rods, or maybe they're so bent, even though this one doesn't even look bent. Maybe they're compressed. I don't know. It's a very weird situation that I got to figure out. So I'm gonna send it to them, and we're gonna figure that part out, hopefully. Next part of our endeavor is I sent my injectors. These are the injectors for the car, and I numbered them. I numbered them, and I sent them to be checked. Right. So this is the when they receive them, then they clean them, and then this is the final test. So if you look over here. Over here, this is the flow. They flow tested them. You could see there's a dip here on number 5 and number 1. So our number 5 was our problematic cylinder, that the cylinder was scored and piston was scored, and number 1 is this bent one, this extremely bent rod right here. This one was bent the most. So this I think is the answer to why the damage happened in cylinder number 5, is because it was lean. And also when they run these tests, they run them at they did a leakage test at 80 psi, but I think they only ran these at 43 psi. These injectors at max, because they're direct port injected, they run at 1,400 psi. So the numbers is just multiplied, or the issues that would be multiplied. Like over here, we have here a deviation of let's just say 4 cc's, multiply that by however many. So this is going to multiply the issue that we have, the deviation. After they clean them, they all ran exactly the same, so they're good to be reused, and they all flow equally. So that's one problem solved. All right, the other issue that I'm having is this is an exhaust valve, and you could see here that it is at around. And then I have 5 other ones. I gave the machine shop to see if they could fix, and basically I need 5, and then all but 3 exhaust valves I need to change. So I'm gonna send one of them out to get copied by what are they called again? Farrell?
Farrah. Or Ferrera? I don't know. It's spelled with the F. Not Super Tech.
Oh, I get them all. Yeah, no, it's Farrah, Ferrello. I forgot the guy. So, anyways, I'm going to be sending one to them. They're going to make me them. They're less than half price than what a new one cost from Porsche. So, and also it's going to be what? Oh, that's fine. And also they should be stronger than the factory ones as well. Intake, those are fine. I'm going to be reusing them. I already started the procedure. I'm just going to cut all the valves to make everything, all the valve seats to make them perfect. But I'm just waiting on the valves. The rest of the valves, I'll just do all of that at once. And that's it. This way to get the heads ready for when the short block comes in, and hopefully we'll figure out the situation with the rods as well. So sometimes these things take a lot longer than you expect, but doing all these little extra measurements and making sure everything is perfect for whenever you do put it together, that's how you get a good engine.
Thanks for watching our dad's video. So don't forget to hit the notification, and please subscribe for more daily awesome future videos. And if you have a question, you could comment down below. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notified to the next video that comes out. And please like the video. And don't forget, if you ain't got hit us, you ain't popping.